Let's take a look at Ohio State. What does Ohio State need to do to have success in this game against Michigan? How do they break this two-game losing streak? Well, let's take a look first at the offense and then the defense. I'm going to talk about the philosophical switch that the defense has made and will need to continue to make during the course of this game against Michigan. But first, offensively, what do they need to do? Well, I think it comes down to two players. The best two players on their team are Marvin Harrison Jr. and TreVeyon Henderson. And the ability to allow them to affect the game, I think, is paramount in this game, in particular being on the road. It can't just come down to Kyle McCord. All right, I know that he bailed them out against Notre Dame on the road, but it can't just come down to Kyle McCord. So you've got to find ways or create ways to get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved and let him impact the game. And then you've also got to create lanes and allow TreVeyon Henderson to impact the game. Let me show you what I'm talking about right here. Let's take a look at the film. All right, let's first dive into how you get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved. First of all, let's talk about why do you shift before a play? And even if it's just a subtle one, you don't have guys moving around a big ways, but just look at that subtle shift. Well, you invited zone coverage in the bunch set, and then you break out to a formation that I would say has some width. Now you've still got the zone coverage, and now you can exploit this outside linebacker with the route structure, okay? So you get a little play action, and now this safety, he's got to respect at least this ability of the outside receiver to go deep. He can't just come down and double Marvin Harrison Jr. That's going to put all the pressure now and the conflict on the outside linebacker. This structure of the route brings the running back underneath him. He's got to respect that, and Harrison just loops around on a little bit of a wheel. So all of a sudden, Marvin Harrison Jr. is lost. Why? Because you invited a coverage pre-snap, then exploited that coverage post-snap. They would do something similar later in this game against Penn State. Okay, again, subtle shift. Why would you do this? You line up with width, Marvin Harrison down here to the bottom, and then you just squeeze down. Fans have been like, why do they do that? Well, you invited man coverage with your set. Now you bring it down, it's still man coverage, and now you're going to exploit that coverage with this mesh concept, bringing Harrison across the field. Great job by Stover and Fleming here. Watch Stover. This linebacker is a guy who's looking up Harrison, trying to double team him, and you've got to get him off of that route. You can't hit him like offensive pass interference. Stover runs his defender into the other linebacker, and now the pressure is on Fleming to make sure that safety doesn't race down to the opposite side of the field. On the opposite side, like I'm just saying, clear out. You got a wheel route over there. It creates all the space, and there's Harrison Jr. How does he get so wide open? Well, you did it by inviting a coverage and then exploiting the coverage post-snap. Great job with a subtle shift from Ryan Day in that offense in order to invite that coverage, then get Harrison through the route concept into an open area where he is lost by the defense. So that's number one. Now let's take a look at the running game, TreVeyon Henderson. Well, how do you get TreVeyon Henderson going? You get him to the second level. Offensive line here is going to do a great job because I'm just going to show you how electric this guy is at the second level. Now, he's got a second-level defender, this linebacker, who is playing this perfectly. Minnesota has done everything right, but watch Henderson. He just kind of does this subtle little inside move to get the linebacker to commit inside, and then he just jumps outside. That jump cut is sensational. Not many people can defend that. That's above the X's and O's. Minnesota plays it perfect, and yet Henderson is still able to get outside and score a touchdown. Let me take a look at the play in the third quarter. Similar thing here, and a great block by Emeka Egbuka on the outside, the wide receiver for Ohio State. Watch, Egbuka is going to come across. He's going to block that outside linebacker, which means the safety is the one that's got to make the play. He's the one in the gap. But watch, Henderson again, little dead leg inside, and it's a jump cut, full speed to the outside. Now he splits it. Good block by Fleming. And there's Henderson, and he's off to the races. They have to do this against Michigan. In the run game, they've got to make sure that they're covering up those defensive tackles and getting Henderson onto the second-level defenders. If they can do that, he'll make a miss. Okay, so there's two really special players, and I know Egbuka is special as well, but he's battling through some injuries. Harrison and Henderson, you have to make sure that they impact the game to a great degree, and that's how they're going to try to do it right there. Okay, let's take a look at the defense and this philosophical change that we've seen from Ohio State. To see the change, you got to see what they changed from. So this is last year's game against Michigan. 3rd down and 9, straight man coverage. This is zero coverage. Why is it zero coverage? Because there are 0 safeties in the back of the field. No safety net. So they're going to be aggressive. This is the identity of this team, and get a free rusher. They're sending more guys than Michigan can block. McCarthy knows that. So he knows that he's just going to need to retreat and hopefully get a completion on the outside. Retreat, now he's just going to throw it out to Cornelius Johnson. But here's where the pressure lies, is that if there's one mistake on defense, missed tackle, gone. No safety net. Cornelius Johnson winds up into the end zone. So you can be aggressive, but without a safety net, the risk might be bigger than the reward. It happened again in this game against Michigan. These big touchdowns just killed the Buckeyes. Now it's later in the game. They have to get a stop. It's 3rd and 3. So what do? Same thing. They're going to blitz everybody with no safety back there. It's cover 0. You're trying to sell out to stop the run. Are you going to have a free blitzer? Yes, but if there's one mistake up front, it's gone. So watch the blitzer on the outside. He's going to pause for just a moment. And that pause, that hesitation, is going to allow the guard, Zach Zenter, to get up to the linebacker. And as soon as that block takes place, now the pressure is on the free blitzer to make the play. And if he doesn't, hesitation. Guess what? Gone. No safety net. You play it out, and it's gone. Edwards is going to run for a touchdown, and Michigan's going to win the game. That's what happens against cover 0. Okay, now let's spin forward to this season. How has that changed? Well, how do you maintain your identity of aggressiveness and yet play with a safety net? Well, blitz cover 1, not cover 0. How do you do that? You take a safety and you put them back into that green area. Still blitz on that side. So you're still trying to create pressure. You're still trying to fill the gaps in the run, but you're going to do it with a safety net. And that has been a huge difference, and I would say it's paid huge dividends for Ohio State. They're better in almost every statistical category, and the reason is that they're playing safer defense, more levels. They would rather give up a 1st down rather than give up a touchdown. Okay, so you can say, like, we want to get off the field. Yeah, that's all well and good, but you don't do that at the risk of giving up a touchdown. Later in the same game against Maryland, it's 3rd and 1, same thing. We'd really love to get off the field, force a field goal, but guess what? We're not going to do that and give up a touchdown because we're playing too risky. So here's the gap soundness. You've got the blitz coming. They stay true to their identity. I want to be aggressive. I want to blitz. Well, they're going to blitz. They're just going to do it with a safety net. And now the safety is back. And even if there is a hole and maybe a mistake, okay, are you going to give up a 1st down? Sure. Are you going to still be on the field? Sure. But it's not a touchdown, and you're forcing the offense to continue to execute in that series, and that's hard to do for college kids. You force them to snap it 10, 12, 13 times rather than 4 or 5 in order to score a touchdown. Maybe they're going to make a mistake. Maybe they jump. Maybe there's a false start. Maybe there's a hold. The more opportunities that you give yourself as a defense to have success, then the more success you will have. So that's the way Ohio State needs to play this game. Harrison, Henderson, don't give up the big play, and they're going to have a good chance to win. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.